For today's activity, you should have a handout that looks like this, and you are going to practice or review the different types of sentences and do a little practice with labeling. So you might want different colored highlighters and a different colored pen to get this activity going. All right. This is really slow. I apologize. I hope your Chromebook works better than mine. All right, so we have three different types of sentences. The first one is a simple sentence, so you're filling in the box that says simple. The next one is compound, and the third one is complex. And if you'd like, you can try to fill in the answers first on your own and then use the screencast to go back and check it. So when we look at these types of sentences, we can add all kinds of phrases to them without changing the type of sentence. And that's why we always eliminate them first. We look for prepositional phrases and infinitives, verb phrases, and appositives. All right, thinking just about simple sentence. A simple sentence by definition is one independent clause. So we have to know the difference between independent and dependent. An independent clause is a complete thought, and it's one subject and one verb. You could have prepositional phrases and infinitives all over the place, but if you can only find one subject and one verb and it expresses a complete thought, that's an independent clause. So you've got some sentences down here at the bottom, and I want you to go through and practice on your own. That was one of the suggestions I had on the survey last week, was that you do some practice on your own. I'm going to tell you that there is one appositive in these sentences, and there is one sentence there that has no phrasing. Okay. The next type of sentence is a compound, and by definition, a compound sentence is two independent clauses. And I guess it would make sense that we have two formulas that we could use. We could have an independent clause, a subject and a verb, followed by a semicolon and another subject and a verb. Or we could have a comma and a fanboy between those two subjects and verbs. So I gave you a sentence down here, and then I recopied it using the second formula. Same thing. You're going to go through. Oh, I just realized that this has a dependent clause in it, but I'm going to tell you to focus just on the main subject and the main verb. Okay? And then for a complex sentence, we have one independent clause and a dependent clause. And you could have more than one dependent clause in a complex sentence, but for the purposes of making an easy definition to remember, that's what we're going to go with. Oh, sorry. All right, and so our formula is an awoobis plus a subject and a verb, and then another subject and a verb. And you'll notice that when the awoobis is at the beginning, there's a comma after it. If it's an introductory clause, if you switch them around, you could have your awoobis at the end or in the middle, then you would not use a comma. Oh, and so I gave you that second formula. So what you're going to do is put a box around that awoobis and find the subject and the verb, and you're probably going to want to have your interactive notebook open to help you. And then there are a couple sentences down here, although I already see a typo in one of them. Same exact sentence, you're going to look at how do you, where do you notice that the dependent clause falls. When you finish that, you can turn it in, make sure that your name is on it, and then you'll see on your task list that there are three different choices here. You could work on if you want some more practice at identifying different types of sentences. You can go to quizzes, and here's a code for an assignment for you to work on. If you would like more practice with transitions, which is also going to help you a little bit with dependent clauses, you can go to this Wiser Me. And if you want some practice with just identifying subordinating conjunctions so that you can find a dependent clause, then you can work on an Edpuzzle. And obviously you could do all three of these. I will keep these up. These are good study tools for you. But I thought today you could just have a little bit of choice in what you want to work on. If you should finish early, you always can work on your article of the week, or you may silent read your Middle Ages novel some more.